hatte Keks, 7, 8, gute Nacht, Einfall, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, hatte Keks, 7, 8, gute Nacht, Einfall, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, hatte Keks, 7, 8, gute Nacht, Einfall, Polizei, 3, 4, Grenadier, 5, 6, hatte Keks, 7, 8, gute Nacht.
You're listening to Däs Bündesliga Show here on the Lock Betting Podcast. You can follow Lock Betting on social media at Lock Betting. That is the handle for Truth Social. That is the handle for Instagram. And it is the handle for YouTube, where we will be posting out additional betting content moving forward. We've already started, and now I'm back from my holiday. We will continue on with that. The only one that's different is at Lock Betting TT, and that's obviously for TikTok. At Lock Betting TT is the only handle that is different at the moment. Not sure if we are returning to Twitter, returning to X. A little bit sick of the platform. I am still there for the Soccer Gambling Podcast at SGP Soccer, but I do need a more public place to post my P&L, so I may return there. At the moment, they are just quietly being added to the website. That's also where you can sign up for your additional plays. We are en route to 136 months in a row of transparent and track profit, but it hasn't been easy, and it's not even a guarantee at this point. This hasn't been like other months this year, to be fully transparent. September has been tough. It has been a grind. We've been carried by some good soccer cards. We've been carried by Sabalenka winning the US Open for us at plus 300. That has been very, very helpful. But we've also had some bad soccer cards. We had a bad soccer card last Sunday. We had a horrendous week 2 in the NFL. Luckily, we have made a recovery with a very good week 3 and a good start to week 4. So we are on the right track. We do look like we are en route to 136 months in a row of transparent and track profit. Barring a absolutely disastrous weekend, we will get there, but the profit amount will not be comparable to other months. It has been smooth sailing in 2024. I'm not sure that is fully appreciated by people because it does become so compulsory almost. But winning is never compulsory. Winning is never a given. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a combination of gut handicapping, knowledge, a lot of studying goes into it, a lot of work behind the scenes to give you those winning months. And all of those same formulas have gone into this month, which has been much more of a grind and will not be as profitable as other months. But at the end of the day, profit is profit. And 136 months in a row of transparent and track profit is still impressive. If you want to sign up for the additional plays, as I said, go to lockbetting.com. If you just want to get bonus podcasts, if you just want to start softly, then obviously you can get those here on the Lock Betting feed. You just need to hit the subscribe button. At the moment, it's an absolute bargain. $12.99 for this additional content is a joke, because you're not only now getting the European show, you're also getting the Champions League bonus show and the Europa League bonus show as well. That is a ridiculous amount of content to receive for $12.99, given the information, the data, and the amount of money you could have won by just blindly playing all the picks. But I do recommend getting my hand-picked picks. It's a lot better for your bankroll than playing every play, because that isn't what we do. I am a selective play expert. Some people don't understand what we actually do on the service. What we do is that we play the best plays possible, and we take away those ones that we aren't too sure about. And what that should do is that should leave us with a stronger profit by eliminating the weaker leans and just going with the stronger plays across all sports, and even plays that we never talk about. There's a lot of plays there that don't get mentioned on any podcast. When we're looking at lower leagues, we're looking at some foreign leagues, we're looking at some tennis plays that we put out, they aren't mentioned on any shows. So there is obviously a big reason to sign up there. The main one being the fact that we have delivered 135, soon to hopefully be 136 months in a row of transparent and tracked profit in sports betting. So moving on with this edition of Däs Bündesliga Show, I've decided to cover 5 games on this show, so over half of the Bundesliga slate, and this is out early because I want to start with Borussia Dortmund on Friday night, hosting Bochum. Borussia Dortmund here are a 2-7 favourite, so obviously I'm backable on the money line. It's 6-1 on the draw, and it's 17-2 here on Bochum. Borussia Dortmund have had a semi-decent start to the season, but they will be demanding a better play here in this bounce-back spot. Nuri Sahin would not have been happy to see his side ship 5 against Stuttgart last time out, and I think we'll see a big response from his players here when Bochum visit tonight. Borussia Dortmund have 6 wins and no defeats in their last 7 at home, while they also have 3 clean sheets in the last 5 overall. So they are defending a lot better than you would usually associate with Borussia Dortmund. As for Bochum, they've played 3 and lost all 3 on the road this season, and they have scored just 1 goal. So there are a number of ways we can approach this. We can take Borussia Dortmund to win to nil, and given that people aren't really used to Borussia Dortmund winning to nil, that is available at 6-4 plus 150. So a big plus money play on Dortmund to win to nil, or we could go safer and give ourselves more protection and take Borussia Dortmund minus 1.5 on the Asian handicap line. That is the safer way to go, but I'm not really enamoured with the price of 7-10 for that, needing Borussia Dortmund to win by 2 clear goals. So I'm going to take a punt on Borussia Dortmund to win to nil here. As I said, this is a different kind of Dortmund. They are keeping clean sheets. The visitors haven't conceded more than twice in any game this season. So I think Bochum are going to sit here and be tight and cagey, get men behind the ball. Their ambition isn't really going to be to score unless it's on the counter-attack against the runner player, or it comes via a big mistake from Borussia Dortmund, who, as I mentioned, have kept 3 clean sheets in their last 5 overall. It's a no-brainer to take them at home, given they have won 6 of their last 7 with no defeats, and this is a bounce-back spot. I'm looking at Borussia Dortmund winning this 2-0, 3-0, maybe even 4-0, and I don't think Bochum will score. So we're going to take Borussia Dortmund 2 wins to nil at the price of 6-4 plus 150 for our first selection here on the show. Up next, we are moving across to Saturday, and we will begin with RB Leipzig. This team have not been popular with us. Everything we've wanted them to do, they've gone and done the opposite. Luckily, when they scored the opening goal against Atletico Madrid, we had Atletico Madrid on the money line. Atletico were able to come back and score, and we also actually had Atletico and BTTS in that game. Otherwise, backing Leipzig has been wretched so far this season. They went and got that huge win away to Leverküsen, which has made the market overrate Leipzig. And in recent weeks, they have stumbled to 2 draws. And what's worse, it's been 2 0-0 draws. And last week, we had Leipzig as a significant parlay piece as well. So not happy with this team, not happy with their goal output. And they are at home to Augsburg here as a 2-5 favourite. 17-4 on the draw, and it's 11-2 here on Augsburg. I'm going to take Augsburg not to lose this game by 2 goals. They can lose, but they cannot lose by a 2-goal margin. And we're getting 10-11 on this, with Augsburg getting a plus 1.5 goal start in the Asian handicap market. Augsburg are a team who can actually score goals. So if Leipzig haven't got their shooting boots on here, don't be surprised to see Augsburg nicking a draw, or maybe even stealing a win here away to RB Leipzig. At least 4 goals have been scored in all of Augsburg's games this season, while 4 of the last 5 meetings between these 2 clubs have featured over 3.5 goals. Now, Augsburg have avoided defeat by more than 1 goal in 5 of the last 6 league matches. And Leipzig, they have drawn their last 2 Bundesliga matches, and they also have Juventus on deck. So Juventus are visiting Leipzig in their next Champions League game. That's a distraction as well. Leipzig also appear to have a problem with their Bundesliga focus around these Champions League matches. They remain unbeaten in domestic action, but followed up their wins against Bochum and Leverküsen with 2 draws against Union Berlin and St. Pauli, and both of those were goalless draws. So I think Augsburg come into this one with a little bit more firepower, given that they are scoring goals, and at least 4 goals have been scored in all of Augsburg's games so far this season, with Augsburg avoiding defeat by more than 1 goal in 5 of the last 6 league matches. So I think they can avoid a 2-goal defeat here. I don't suddenly see Leipzig going off, especially not with Juve as the look ahead. And I'm going to take Augsburg plus 1.5 goals here. This week I'm going to go against this annoying Leipzig team. We're going to take Augsburg plus 1.5 goals, and we take it at the price of 10 to 11 minus 110 here in this one. Up next, we stay with the 2:30 kickoffs on Saturday, and we move on to Wolfsburg versus Stuttgart. Stuttgart, off the back of destroying Dortmund last weekend, they come here as the 21-20 favourites. It's 29-10 on the draw, and it's 11-5 here on Wolfsburg. I'm not confident about backing Stuttgart as an away favourite, even though they did score 5 goals against Dortmund last weekend. I just haven't seen enough from them away from home. They did win 3-1 away to Borussia Mönchengladbach, but they also lost away to Freiburg and away to Real Madrid. The Real Madrid one obviously is acceptable. No one expects them to go to Real Madrid. No one expects them to go to Real Madrid and get anything. And they actually played well in that game. But I just haven't seen enough to take them here as an away favourite, close to even money here at 21-20 plus 105 at Wolfsburg, which is a difficult place to go to. Instead, what I'm going to go with here is the goals. I think this will be a goal-heavy game, and over 2.5 goals is a juice selection. BTTS is also a juice selection, but if you put them together, you end up with 4 to 5 minus 125. Still juice, but it makes a lot of sense when you look at the numbers. First of all, Wolfsburg have no clean sheet in the last 3. Stuttgart have no clean sheet in the last 5. Over 2.5 goals has been a play that has cashed in 4 of Wolfsburg's last 5, whilst BTTS has cashed in 4 of Wolfsburg's last 5 as well. Meanwhile, for Stuttgart, they have seen both teams score in 5 of the last 5, while over 2.5 goals have cashed in 10 of the last 10 Stuttgart matches. Stuttgart are without a clean sheet in 5 straight matches against Wolfsburg, whilst both teams have scored in this fixture in 4 of the last 5. Last season's results saw Stuttgart win 3-1 at home and win 3-2 away to Wolfsburg. So they delivered 9 goals across their 2 outings last season. I think over 2.5 goals here, with both teams finding net, is somewhat conservative. And I think the price of 4 to 5 minus 125, given that data, is somewhat generous. So we take that as our selection here for this one. PTTS and over 2.5 goals in a game between Wolfsburg and Stuttgart. Up next, we move on to the game of the weekend, not just in Germany, but probably across all of Europe, as Bayern Munich are looking for revenge on Bayer Leverküsen. And I think this is a pretty decent price on Bayern Munich here, who are the 10 to 13 favourites to win here. You can get 4 to 5 minus 125 at some books if you shop around, although that is not massively widely available. It's just 3 or 4. So probably about 15% of the books are giving you 4 to 5 minus 125. It's more widely available at 10 to 13, which still returns you £177 from a £100 stake. It's 10 to 3 on the draw, and it's 16 to 5 here on Leverkusen. The numbers don't point to Bayern Munich, as Leverkusen took 4 points off Bayern Munich last season, and you could argue they hold this psychological edge. Leverkusen have actually won 16 and drawn 3 of their Bundesliga away trips since the start of last season, which actually means, factually, Bayern Munich have lost more Bundesliga home games in their last 10 than Leverkusen have lost away in their last 25 trips, which is a crazy bit of data. But I'm still landing on Bayern Munich here. Historical data goes out of the window. This is a different Bayern Munich team. This is a goal-scoring machine at the moment, and I just don't think Leverküsen will be able to keep up with their firepower and the extra motivation that Bayern Munich will have coming into this game. You can add any goals angle you want to this. You can add BTTS, I think it will cash. You can add over 2.5 goals, I think it will cash. You can even maybe add 3.5 goals, and I think it will cash if you're looking for more value. But I think the value is already there. You are not going to get Bayern Munich on the money line very often this season at 10-13. I think this will be a price that will disappear as we move forward, as Bayern Munich storm towards the title, which I do think they'll win early this year. I think they'll win it around about April time. And for that reason, this is a very good price on Bayern Munich, in my opinion. This is the real test for them, though. This is the biggest test that Vincent Kompany's side have had this season. We'll really see what Bayern Munich are made of. But I think they'll pass the test. I still feel that there aren't too many Leverkusen players that I would take in this combined 11 between Bayern Munich and Leverkusen. I think Bayern Munich are significantly stronger. I think they had a very poor season last season. I think the players did not like Thomas Tuchel. And now we're seeing a more realistic version of Bayern Munich. In fact, they're over-delivering with the number of goals that they're scoring at the moment. And if they take that kind of firepower into this game, we know Leverkusen can see goals. I think Bayern Munich will end up with the win here. So I'm going to take them at the price of 10-13 to get some revenge on Bayer Leverkusen here in this one. The final game is a Sunday game, and we're looking at Hoffenheim versus Werder Bremen. Hoffenheim are the 27-20 home favourites. It's 14-5 on the draw, and it's 17-4 here on Werder Bremen. I like both teams to score here in this game, and I'm going to tack on the over 2.5 goals as well to give ourselves a little bit more value, as BTTS at 1-2 is too juiced. We're doing the same thing that we did for the Stuttgart game, and we give ourselves the same price here, 45 minus 125. 6 successive Hoffenheim games have seen both teams to score cash, including each of their last 4 Bundesliga outings this season. Both teams have also netted in 3 of Werder Bremen's 5 fixtures across the campaign. So BTTS does look like a safe bet. We just need 1 additional goal to get us over the line for the selection. The visitors come into this one having only kept 1 clean sheet in 5 attempts. It's been a disappointing start to the season for Hoffenheim, who head into this one off the back of 3 league defeats in a row. So they're looking for a bounce back here. However, they did win at home on the opening day, getting themselves a 3-2 win over Holstein Kiel. Since then, they've been beating 3-1 away to Frankfurt, lost 4-1 at home to Leverkusen, and even lost to Union Berlin away 2-1 last weekend. So they are conceding a lot of goals as well. They have conceded 9 goals in their last 2 outings. In fact, they've conceded 11 in 4 overall in the league so far this season. But they'll be looking to bounce back here against a Werder Bremen team who themselves were thrashed 5-0 by Bayern Munich last time out. Now, that can happen to anybody. Bayern Munich are in red-hot form at the moment, as we just spoke about when we covered the previous game. But I do believe we have strong data for both teams scoring here, with the over 2.5 goals coming in with it. And that is available at the price of 4-5 minus 125 here for this one. That's it for me and this earlier edition of the Bundesliga show. Don't forget, we have Champions League in midweek. You can get the Champions League show by clicking the subscribe button, and that will also give you the European show this weekend, which will also be posted early because we are covering some Saturday games on that show. And all of your other content, all of your other soccer content is available on the Soccer Gambling Podcast. And if you want all of my official plays, make sure you head over to lockbetting.com.